There have been plenty of times where I've prayed and prayed and prayed and nothing seems to happen. It's like my prayers are bouncing off the ceiling or something, like no one's hearing anything I'm saying. What do you do when it seems like God's not saying anything at all, like He's silent? Have you ever experienced that? I know I have, and it can be frustrating. But I think it's important to understand that just because God's silent, that doesn't mean He's angry or upset. I know in my own life, sometimes it just means that I'm not listening real well. Or maybe God seems silent for a reason. Maybe He wants us to find Him in that silence or just learn to wait on Him a little bit. I think we sometimes get this skewed understanding of how God works. We read the Bible stories and just assume that God showed up every other week and spoke with Moses face to face. We just assume people in the Bible had regular experiences with God. But I just don't think that's how it worked. I think God showed up directly a few times, but it definitely wasn't an everyday thing. I think people back then experienced God a lot like we experience Him today. They had to learn to be quiet and wait. They had to set aside time to just do nothing, just listen. And they had to take the opportunity to look around and watch for God to show up in a number of different ways. So when God seems silent in your life, when you feel like you're praying and not getting an answer, don't give up. Keep telling God how you feel. Don't be afraid to even tell Him that you're frustrated, that you can't seem to hear Him. That's what King David did in the Psalms. He was very honest with God. He wasn't afraid to be real. And then he sat back and waited. And guess what? God always showed up, just like He still does today. But He shows up with what we need when we need it. And He knows best. So sometimes the best thing we can do is just wait and try to enjoy the silence.